Sean Diddy Combs' verdict is in, and Puffy was found not guilty and guilty. On those serious charges, he was found not guilty. And on lesser charges, he was found guilty. So 2 out of 5, he was found guilty. And I remember telling you guys that I just didn't see the whole trafficking thing that they was trying to charge him on. And y'all got mad. Y'all got my people got mad. I'm unsubscribing for your chair. What you mean you don't see trafficking? And I'm like, no. From what was read and what I heard and what Cassie said, I didn't see no trafficking. And he was found not guilty on trafficking. Okay, so let's go over the charges really quick. It says Diddy beats Rico, escaped most serious charges. Sean Diddy Combs found not guilty of racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking. Guilty on both counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Okay. So shout out to, which one am I reading? The Fox News. I like how they wrote this up. The jury in the Sean Diddy Combs trafficking and racketeering trial reached a verdict on all counts Wednesday. So remember yesterday, well, I don't know if you heard, but they made a decision on 4, but the number 1, the racketeering, they couldn't come to a conclusion, and the judge says, okay, go home, sleep on it, come back and try again. And they came back today. And it says the jury found Diddy not guilty of racketeering. That was the conspiracy. That was the most dangerous one that could have landed him life in prison, I think. And trafficking, he was found guilty on both counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Count 1, Rico, not guilty, right? That was the one that would have landed him in jail for the rest of his life. Count 2, trafficking, Cassie Ventura, not guilty. Not guilty. Like I said, that was not trafficking, girl. You was getting paid $50,000 a month to do what you was doing. Stop the lies. Okay? Stop the lies. You just mad because he got with the other girl, Young Miami, and whatever. Stop the lies, and your little boyfriend talk you into, getting him for the money. And granted, I don't got no problem with you getting that $30 million. I sure hope. I know Sean Diddy Combs hate that he paid you because he still had to go to trial. He could have kept his money. Okay. Count 3, Mann Act transportation, Cassie Ventura, guilty. So that's flying her out and her having relations with other men. Okay. Number 4, trafficking Jane Doe, not guilty. That hoe, he's still paying her rent. He's still paying your rent. His lawyer should have been stopped paying your rent. Count 5, Mann Act transportation Jane guilty. So in other words, what Sean and Cassie and Jane was doing, what they do, where they live at, the jury didn't find a problem with it. But because he flew them out of Miami, New York, California, and have them do with other men, he's guilty for that. Okay? So I just want to say, I told you guys that I did not see trafficking in what I read. And the jury agrees with me. Okay, let's read. A federal RICO violation can result in a 20-year sentence. The transportation to engage in prostitution charge could carry a sentence of up to 10 years, while trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion may carry 20-year sentence. Diddy returned to the courtroom wearing another beige sweater while the jury continued deliberating. He hugged his lawyers and waved to his mother and a supporter who was whispering, "Hi, Diddy," to him. You're going to be the next victim if you don't be careful. The rapper also made the heart symbol with his hand. Combs then spoke to the court marshals briefly before standing and facing his family. He said a brief prayer asking God to watch over his family and bless the jurors. The family all bowed their heads and said amen. When Diddy finished, the family then clapped. On Tuesday, after nearly 14 hours of deliberation, the jury revealed they had reached a verdict on 4 of the 5 counts Diddy faces. The jury indicated they couldn't reach a unanimous decision on the racketeering charge, one of the most serious counts against the disgraceful music mogul. After receiving the 4th note of substance from the jury, the court directed them to continue deliberating on the racketeering conspiracy. The jury was brought out, and a portion of the instructions were reread by James Aram. When the jury was brought back into the courtroom, the judge asked them to keep deliberating, saying it is their duty to discuss among themselves and form opinions. Judge Subramanian said the jurors must reach a unanimous verdict, but must not give up their convictions merely to return a verdict or satisfy the rest of the jurors. The jury was then dismissed back to the jury room. Jurors began deliberating on Monday, June 30, after hearing 7 weeks of trial testimony. Prosecution chose to rest the case on June 24. And I was wondering why it ended so quick, but that's because the defense didn't call any witness. Special Agent Joseph Sarlia was the final witness to take the stand for the prosecution, making him the 34th person to testify. Diddy defense team called no witnesses. Diddy pleaded not guilty to charge of racketeering, trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The disgraced music mogul was arrested in September 2024, months after Homeland Security investigated raided the Los Angeles and Miami homes of the rapper. During closing arguments, Diddy attorney Mark Agnifilio insisted the rapper was innocent. He noted that it takes courage for a juror to acquit, return him to his family, who have been waiting for him. He also accused the prosecution of bringing a fake trial against Diddy, claiming the government went after his private ex-life. According to his lawyers, none of the prosecuted witnesses testified to engage in racketeering. I said that. Agnifilio pointed out the disgraced music mogul, former employees all described working for him as hard, but also said it was like going to Harvard Business School. Before the defense closing arguments, the government explained how the trial testimony proved each charge against Diddy, 2 counts of trafficking, racketeering, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution over the course of roughly 4 hours. Jesus. The government emphasized in their argument that Diddy ran an alleged criminal enterprise with full control. The prosecution pointed out that the jury heard testimony, saw text, viewed bank records, and heard audio allegedly showing the last night rapper committed crime after crime for decades. Prosecutors argued the disgraced music mogul used his inner circle money and influence to cover up the alleged crimes he committed over the last several weeks. You've learned a lot about Sean Combs, Slave said at the start of closing. He's the leader of criminal enterprise. He doesn't take no for an answer. Well, there you have it, y'all. There you have it. What do y'all think? Diddy basically got off. He basically got off. So the judge broke. I was reading up. The judge went to break. And then he's going to come back at 1 o'clock to decide if he's going to release Diddy on bail or is he going to go back to the jail cell. The judge did ask Diddy, did he want to go back to the jail? And he said, no, he clasped his hand and said, please, no, 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 no. So the judge is going to come back and see if they're going to give him bail. I think these 2 counts he was guilty on, I think the max is 10 years, if I remember correctly. So comment below, what did you think the verdict would be? Are you shocked by the verdict? Are you pleased by the verdict? Are you surprised by the verdict? Are you mad about the verdict? I'm not surprised at the verdict because I'm like, I didn't see no racketeering and no trafficking. No, what they should have charged him was DV for Cassie. Okay, but the prosecutor didn't charge DV. I don't know if he could charge DV anyways, but there is no prosecution. And if he didn't pay the guys in the other states that he brought these girls, these women, not girls, women too, he would have gotten off. He would have gotten off. They only charged him. He's really only charged because he went across state lines and paid men to have relations with Cassie and Jane. But I'm not surprised. I knew this was going to be it, because I'm like, I could not see no trafficking. When you think about trafficking, if you've watched Law and Order and you've read stories about trafficking, that was not trafficking. Anyways, come on back. Be sure to check the video I did this morning about Nelly and Ashanti. I love y'all. Talk to you later. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Be sure to subscribe and thumbs up. Bye, guys.